Hello, algebra students. Let's talk about MathABILITY, what it is, who it's for. Don't worry, won't take too long. Just want to give you a little bit of important information. So first of all, why MathABILITY? Well, I am just convinced that it does not matter what your current skill level is, what disability or other struggle you might have, or even what your educational background is, you are capable of learning algebra if given the right tools and support. And I've got so many stories that can support this. I cannot tell you how many hundreds of students I've known with so many challenges that have passed GED math when given the support they needed. So MathABILITY is going to act like tutoring. It's going to provide that bridge that a struggling student needs between the lesson and the independent practice. So I know it's happened to you before. You've sat in a class maybe and you thought you understood it, but then when you went to practice alone, it was over your head. So this is that in-between step. Are you wondering if you even need MathABILITY? Well, here's who it's for. It's anyone who struggles to understand the whys of math. You're always trying to memorize the hows, like the step-by-step processes, and you have no idea why any of it works. It's for those students who are like, how's this going to show up in the real world? Kate, this doesn't seem useful. This doesn't seem helpful. Why would I even want to remember it if it doesn't make sense to my life? It's for those students who mix up steps, mix up algorithms. They forget when to do what. And this is my favorite crew. This is who I most think of when I do these videos. It's for those students who struggle to get meaning from the math symbols. Does it all look like visual vomit to you? Can you study and study and study, and then you'll look at a page of math the very next day and it looks like Greek? You have no idea what's going on. MathABILITY is here to help you with that. Or, if you're just the kind who wants extra practice, needs extra practice, MathABILITY is here for you for that as well. So what tools and support are you going to be getting as we work on these guided practices together? You'll get contextualization. We'll look at how these skills come up in the real world, or we'll relate them to something in the real world to help you better understand them. We'll do some visualization. We'll draw pictures. We'll look at diagrams when that's appropriate and see if we can picture what we're learning. We're going to treat algebra like it's a language because it is a language. Like I always say, everything, even the most simple things, seem hard if they're spoken in a language that you don't understand. I can say something super simple like hello, but if I say it in a language you don't understand, jumbo. Now you have no idea what I'm saying. But by understanding the language, you begin to realize, oh, it's not as hard as it seems. Here's a big one. I'm going to teach you strategies to help you find your way if you get lost in the symbols. So for those of you who, those symbols just stay really, really confusing and you frequently get lost, how do you get found again? What if you're taking the test and you get lost? You need a way to get yourself out of that confusion. It's going to provide repetition. They say 30 times is the average number of times a learner needs to repeat a skill before they're going to remember it. 30 is a lot already, but if you are a struggling learner, you might need even more than that. So MathABILITY just helps give lots of extra practice for you. And then finally, it's going to provide a verbal script. All right, so there's kind of 3 stages of learning. The I call it stage, when the teacher does it for you. The we do stage, when we do it together, and the you do stage, where you do it alone. Well, in the we do stage, when you and I are working together, I'm going to be prompting you. You get lost, you get confused, I have certain questions I ask. But in the you do stage, where you're working alone, you need to be able to ask yourself the same questions, have the same prompts. And so we're going to practice building that verbal script for you so you're able to kind of talk yourself through problems until you're really skilled. All right, last thing, let's talk about how MathABILITY is going to work for you. Not too complex, pretty simple. First, you'll scan a QR code to access the video. Those QR codes are right up at the top of the MathABILITY. Those are not optional. On our other levels of practice, the QR code leads to optional solution videos, but you want to be watching the video with me in it when you're doing the MathABILITY, because it's supposed to be like a tutoring session. So if you're not hearing what I have to say and seeing the video, it's not going to work the way it's supposed to. In the video, we're going to take turns. I'm going to do a few examples, and then I'll ask you to pause the video and try a few yourself. Then you'll restart the video to check your work, or if you get them correct, you can just skip ahead to the next set of problems. I really want you to take note of that verbal script that I use. So I'll be using it throughout the video, but I'll also highlight it at the end so that you can use it to prompt yourself. And then finally, after you complete the MathABILITY practice, it is time for independent practice. So you're going to do the same lessons practice, but now at the beginner level. It is only through independent practice, that kind of struggling and working through it yourself, but, you know, struggling successfully, that you build those strong brain pathways that you need in that long-lasting memory in order to be able to remember what you've learned. All right, you guys. Well, I'll be excited if you'll join me for MathABILITY. It is my very favorite thing that we're putting into this book. I think that it is going to help students who thought they could never do algebra be able to succeed and have a really strong background for college and pass their GED, so that these kinds of issues are no longer holding you back. All right, you guys, happy learning.